There is tremendous interest in Taoism today. References to it appear in everything from art books to philosophy classes. Qi Kung and Tai Chi are taught at community colleges, and spiritually inclined people are investigating Taoist meditations. Scholars credit Taoism with having a significant influence on Zen Buddhism, thereby accounting for its difference from Indian Buddhism. Chinese classical poets such as Li Po and Tu Fu are widely acknowledged to have consciously included Taoist themes, and every major building in China, even today, is constructed according to Taoist principles of geomancy. But if the English language reader wanted to investigate more about Taoism, they might well be forgiven for thinking that nothing significant had been written since 300 BC. After all, the Tao Te Ching, I Ching, and Changzu, so widely translated and popular that they are found in almost every bookstore, were all written in the Zhou dynasty. Other books available are translations of abstruse alchemical texts, scholarly histories, or manuals dealing with narrow subjects such as sexology, exercise, or legends. Readers interested in Taoism have undoubtedly seen most of these books. And yet articles written in magazines, questions asked at lectures, and the confusion many people profess about Taoist principles show that the current body of literature is insufficient support for applying Taoism to daily life. This is not surprising. Translators usually have not had long training as Taoists, so their perspective is academic rather than practical. If readers want to go a step further after reading the popular books on Taoism, they have very few alternatives. So what is missing is a book written for people who are trying to live the Taoist life today. Such a book would have to capture traditional Taoism's sense of lyrical mysticism while still making its concepts clear in English. Taoism's strength in Chinese culture, to the point that it permeates daily life even in the Asia of today, lies in its myriad ties to the culture at large. When Taoism is translated into English, these points of reference seem quaint, foreign, exotic, and esoteric. Is it possible to see Tao in everyday life, regardless of place or culture? 365 Tao is an attempt to do just that. This is quite literally not a book of traditional Taoism. Rather, this is a book that searches for Tao in the immediate. In order to avoid any hint of esoteric wording, Taoism, Taoist, Yin and Yang, Wu Wei, and numerous other Chinese terms are not used at all. The only concession has been the word Tao, but even here, it is not written as the Tao, but simply Tao. Occasionally, for the sake of variety, its translation as way or path has been used. Tao should not be viewed exclusively as scholarly metaphysics. Traditional Taoism was often elitist and obscure, and translations have been infected with that arm's-length attitude. The message of 365 Tao is that one can actually apply the open and accessible ideas of Tao directly to one's life. 365 Tao encourages you to explore on your own. That's where true experience lies. That is why the book constantly emphasizes meditation. It is far better to turn away from dead scriptures and tap directly into Tao as it exists now. We need to open ourselves to what is unique about contemporary times, throw off the shackles of outmoded forms, and instead adapt them to our current needs. Tao fundamentally assumes that an inner cultivation of character can lead to an outer resonance. This is an important distinction. When confronted with the mysteries of the universe and the adversities of life, those who follow Tao think first to secure their own inner characters. This is directly at variance with a great deal of modern thinking. Currently, if we are faced with a river too broad, we build a bridge to span it. If someone attacks us, we immediately assume it to be that person's fault and loudly call for someone to expel the intruder. If we want to ponder something far away, we quickly fly the distance to explore it. The assumption of those who follow Tao is much different. It is not that they would never build a bridge, fight an aggressor, or explore the distant, but they would also consider other aspects. When confronted with the river, they may ask why a bridge was needed. Was there some reason that they were not content with what they had? Would an imbalance of nature, society, economics, or even aesthetics be created along with the bridge? In the case of personal attack, those who follow Tao would ask if they did anything to provoke the attack. If so, could they have prevented it? Of course they would defend themselves. Even then, their self-defense would most likely come from long solitary training and not from frantic, outer-directed violence. Before they went to explore the far away, those who would follow Tao would first think to know themselves well. They believe that the outside world is only known in relation to an inner point of view. They would therefore establish self-knowledge before they tried to know others. Self-cultivation is the basis for knowing Tao. Although Tao may be glimpsed in the outer world, individuals must sharpen their sensibilities in order to observe the workings of the great. In the Western world today, there are thousands of people exploring Taoism for answers they cannot find in their own culture. In this worthy search, many of them lack a companion for their spiritual quests. 365 Tao can be such a companion. It addresses the awe and devotion of spiritual life, while recognizing that there are times when meditation doesn't appear to succeed, and life is discouraging. 365 Tao is an invitation to enter Tao every day. If you succeed in that, books and companions fade away, and the wonder of the Tao is everything.